tragedy. So after such highs and lows, after defeating one of the major entities of the cards of Bane that were meant to help bring about the end of Sarek and hopefully bring back Bellany at the same time. We have now had some joy for the previous night of laughs and some bonding is probably the best way over slaps and arm wrestlings and everything under the sun, and can't forget money for Dink's. God, I can't remember that name.
House of Plenty.
The House of Plenty. I was actually right. But Dink's House of Plenty was roaring and cheering. You could see the lights and almost hear the sounds from Dry Dock. It's like which is Ziggy's Bastion, where we've been parking the good ship Wildheart. So Ziggy watches in the distance of the lights of what used to be just a little over a month ago, just a street basically, and nothing but some farmland and a few huts, into something that's becoming sort of a surprise, something good, is like, because there's Dinks, there is the Church of Midnight has grown. There's been other buildings coming up, a few more trade buildings have come, and of course their own little airship port, their dry dock here, sitting up on the rocks, looking down where there's a nice little farm starting to grow. At the edge of the mountain where they defeated the hags. So from where Ziggy sits, he can see the House of Sand, where Dawn sits now, and across there in the moonlight, glistening across is the large sea of sand. So Ziggy is content. So there's no one annoying him, no one to shout out. So all hands are battered down and quiet below decks. But Ziggy sits at his wheel. Bluefin has went to town. So has his quartermaster and Vincent. So Ziggy is standing over what's ironically known as Last Watch. So he stares off, and he pulls out a book. And of course and he starts writing. And he's continuing the adventures. So he looks down and he sees one of his crewmates coming up on deck, and he nods at the crewmate. And so the crewmate comes up. At this point, so Ziggy yells, "Report!" in his normal way, while he's writing in his book. And at this point, an arm flashes through the entire cavity of the small gnome, lifts him up, and Ziggy is just able to look around. And says, "You're off the ship," as he's thrown through the front of the captain's window with steering down onto the deck. There, he looks up into the sky and he sees the moon. And he remembers the stories of everyone with their heartfelt laughter and joy of defeating one of the big problems of the card, the lunar dragon. He wonders if he could ever flown to see the lunar to see the moon like his patriots, if he had ever got to his wonder ship somewhere that flies through. Maybe that ship is there waiting for him as slowly his eyes close, and he wonders, when he dies, will he fly to his next destination? The large thump of his wide, sort of wide body, laying on the deck, alerts the rest of the crew. The rest of the crew comes up, and they gather around him, and you just see Ziggy laying there, and the crew and the rest of the heroes that were stationed on the ship are just in shock. Like, instead of just, they don't panic, they don't do it, they don't even start even looking. It's just like, it's almost like, well, that can't happen here. You know, there is watch. Sadly, the 4 garrison members that were stationed to watch are all dead outside. So something has killed them rather easily. So all in the same way that Ziggy was. He was basically impaled through. So, and Ziggy's heart is missing. Like, everything through is just destroyed. So they decide to take Ziggy's body back to the land bastion. So, and they've constructed a little hut there for supplies and stuff, and there's a crewman that tends the garden here called Bozak, and it's his little house, so he can tend to the garden. And luckily, it's a very modest bed made out of grass and other things. Then they lay Ziggy on it. So at this point, word spreads, and I'd assume that Wolfie's probably the fastest. Did they send Wolfie to town?
Yeah.
No, because Ziggy's crew wouldn't want to leave him. So
Right.
so they send Wolfie to town, and the party and everything is winding down, and our characters have finished their test of what do we call that?
The triathlon.
The was it just 3 events?
Yeah, it was just.
Oh, you just 3. Okay, so you just did. So they finished their triathlon, and they've been sitting around drinking. Bluefin is face down, passed out because he can't handle anything. And so Char is,
Eating.
it's like using his cape to blow ashes on Bluefin, saying little man can't go drink. And putting ash. So and occasionally there's so much ash on him, Char draws little like teeth and other stuff on him, while Bluefin's passed out. Lily has been mostly sitting to herself, counting her monies and her wares from her adventures. I'm not really sure what our quartermaster is doing, but Vincent. I say Vincent's probably about to leave when he runs into Wolfie. Wolfie basically can only really get one word out: murder. Murder. So, say come back, murder. So, Char picks up Bluefin, and Vincent and them, they hurry you back. So we will pick. So Dink hears this. This was talk about murder. Wolfie, Vincent, I'm assuming, probably asks who was murdered, and about the only thing that Wolfie says, and it says it very, very loud. Is Ziggy. So Dink hears murdered Ziggy. So that's about the most that Dink probably hears at this point. So, and again we head back, and it's going to be about morning time. The sun's come up, and we're going through. Everyone's gathered. Anyone that's not here is probably either watching the boat, or luckily we have trackers like Hagen and Melania are out trying to find tracks, trying to find things that could help. Our resident cleric can't help because she can't revive him without a heart or in most of his organs. So we will pick up with, I guess, our group in morning.